Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Real Talk Sports Show. I'm your host, Minister Jonathan Simmons, and we are very, very excited to be back in the building with you. We want to give a big shout out to those of you who are watching on the replay on Periscope. Thank you so much for doing that. Also want to give a big shout out to those of you who are watching us live on our live stream portals, which are the following: YouTube Live, Periscope, which will soon be Twitter TV, and the Facebook, all live. And we appreciate all those of you who have tuned in to the broadcast to watch us. Well, anytime we have a broadcast that we do, we like to bring in all of our people. We're going to have a great show tonight. As a matter of fact, let you guys take a look at what we're going to have happening tonight. Great stuff. We got a great assortment of guests. So tonight, we'll be talking about some breaking news, some sad news from the NFL. Hawks are still struggling. High school football, we're going to spotlight Jonesboro High School, located right down here in the South Side, and talk to them about their season of COVID, their college recruiting process, all that kind of good stuff is going to be talked about tonight. We're also going to have a community outreach spotlight, as we always do, and also he's going to be incorporated as our Black History guest. Clemente Gordon is going to be joining us, former NFL player. We're also going to be talking about the NFL draft, NFL free agents, and of course, we're going to be giving you an update on our Atlanta Falcons. I shouldn't say our, because they're like, I have to be kind of neutral, but we're definitely going to have a talk with the Falcons and their draft prospects as we come up, bringing one of our favorites on with us, the Orlando Ledbetter. We also have a surprise guest. You got to stay tuned because you wouldn't know who it is unless you stay tuned. But let's get right to the meat of the matter. I know that you guys like to see me sometime in the lockdown living room. We want to welcome you to the lockdown living room, but I know that really you're all waiting with bated breath for the queen herself to arrive, and I believe she's in the studio now. Miss Doleman, welcome back.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing all right.
All right, so it is good to have you back. So tell us this weekend, what did you do? Anything fun? Just kind of relax, take it easy. Kind of how was your weekend?
My weekend was pretty busy. I stay busy. I'm always working on a lot of different things and watched sports, did some reading. It was pretty awesome. And then I did finally watch Bridgerton, a show that people kept telling me I should watch. So I finally watched that. So I had a decent weekend. How was yours?
Hold up. Wait a minute. You said you watched Bridgerton. Oh, yes. Snap. Yeah, I got to tell you, I will admit, my daughter got me turned on to Bridgerton, and yeah, it was really, I'll just tell you guys, okay, just so that you know, there were several points where the preacher had to go, oh, golly, because they were very animated and very accurate in their portrayal of the intimacy of a married couple. And I'll kind of leave it at that. But it was definitely very well written, outstanding show. I enjoyed it. My daughter, I think, is now watching, I think, I want to say the third time. I think she watched it now. So, yeah, but definitely a great story. Yeah. For those of you get a chance to do it, how many episodes is it? Like about 9 or 10, I think? I can't remember.
I think for 10? Season 1, it was 8 episodes.
8 episodes, right.
I'm waiting for season 2.
That's what I'm hearing. I'm hearing there's going to be a season 2. And like I said, again, it is really, if you guys haven't seen it, again, watch it because the story is extremely well written. The other thing, too, is that was kind of cool was the whole diversity aspect. Talking about Queen Caroline, which it is alleged that she was a woman of color, and just kind of seeing how that diversity worked in the English court, because contrary to popular belief, it might not have been to that level, but there were a lot of people who had melanin in their skin, have always been involved in history, even in Europe. Just saying, just in case you guys don't know. So yeah, definitely if you guys want to get a great program, you definitely want to watch that. So I'll pop back on the screen again here so you guys can know what we're going to be talking about tonight. We got a good slate of topics here that we're going to be dealing with from right off the rip, talking a little breaking news, kind of what's been going on in the world of sports. There's always something going on. We did have a couple of some sad news that kind of happened in the NFL. We're going to talk about that. And then we're just going to get with you guys and see how the weekend went. Then we're going to talk some high school football. I should say we're going to talk about the Hawks. They've been struggling like crazy. We'll talk about them. Then we're going to bring in our featured guest for the evening, Jonesboro High School. We're going to talk a little high school football, talk about high school recruiting, how they kind of dealt with the COVID as they, kind of went about their business and what really was a season for the ages. And then we're going to talk a little community spotlight / Black history. We're going to bring in a guest, Clemente Gordon, former NFL player. He's going to talk to us about what he's doing in the community. and also about his dad, who really is a part of Black history. And then we're going to talk NFL draft, NFL free agents, Falcons update, and Falcons prospects. All that stuff is going to be coming on the show. So you want to keep it locked in and zoomed in, because we got some great guests besides Tree and myself that are going to be joining us here on the broadcast. We're pretty excited about it. Well, there was some sad news in the NFL today. It was released that a 38-year-old former player, 13-year veteran, three-time former All-Pro Vincent Jackson, wide receiver for several teams, including the Chargers and the Eagles, passed away over the weekend. Somewhat mysterious. People looking into it now. They filed a missing person report by his family, and he was later found unfortunately unresponsive and passed away in a hotel. Vincent Jackson, great player, and evidently hearing some of the things that the players are saying, was a great man as well. I know, Tree, like you said again, your husband, Chris, was obviously very involved in the NFL. By any chance, did you get a chance to meet Vincent Jackson in your travels?
Not that I can recall. If we did, I don't remember. I've met so many people. I don't remember everybody's names.
I'm sure.
But I do know that it was very sad when reading the news. But I know the police said when they had the missing persons report, they found him and they spoke to him Friday. And so they canceled the missing persons report. So they saw him, and he had been staying at that hotel since January the 11th. So very, very sad story. I hope they can figure out what happened, and at such just a very young age of 38 years old. That's very sad. And especially with the type of person that he was and the great things that he did for his community.
No doubt. Yeah. And, we have a lot of stories, and we don't want to speculate. We try to do that until all the facts come in. But, one of the things that has been a hazard of playing in the NFL, besides brain injuries and impacts and things like that, but often players, when they retire, it's kind of, you go from almost 100 to 0 sometimes if you don't have your life well planned out.
Yeah, a lot of players, when they retire from the NFL, they have a lot of problems, and it's very similar to a lot of soldiers when they come back from combat. And so the programs are really similar, and getting them acclimated to regular society from the life that they were living. And it is tough. It's something that is definitely being looked at with the NFL and other groups to find a better way for players to cope after they retire, because it is a completely different lifestyle.
Yeah, no doubt. One of the things that I had a chance to do a few years ago when they had the Concussion movie out, they had a premiere right here in Atlanta at the theater at Atlantic Station, and got a chance to meet a gentleman who was one of the guys profiled, a guy by the name of Keith McCants. So those of you who are watching that are familiar with SEC football, he was an outstanding linebacker from the University of Alabama, two-time All-American, and was slated to go in the top 10, and was drafted, I believe, either number 4 or number 7 by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And unfortunately, he actually came into his NFL career with already some injuries. And he said when he talked to the people from Tampa Bay and the team doctor after doing the examination, the doctor basically was very frank. They said, we think he might have a 4 to 5 year career. And he said the folks from Tampa Bay basically said, hey, that's kind of what we're looking for. And he said at one point he was taking, I think he told me, in excess of 150 painkillers a week to deal with his pain. And I will tell you, Tree, that at some point in time, that might be the dirty little secret that really kind of unhinges a lot of things in the NFL, because I think that once they start to peel back the onion, you look at guys like Junior Seau and several guys that, had difficulties either with suicide or other different things, depression is going to be a problem, because I think they might be able to tie some of this erratic behavior from these players, going back to their heavy medication. So definitely, hopefully that wasn't the case with Vincent.
Well, I do understand that. At the same token, even when you're playing in the NFL, nobody can force you to take pain medication. Nobody can force you to get a shot. Nobody can force you to do any of that. Yeah, the doctor or the team trainer can tell you, oh, well, you need to do this. It's your body, and you have to care about your body, but everybody can do what they feel is best for their career. I just know even at one point where a coach was trying to tell me that I had to take creatine back when a lot of players would take creatine, I said, no, I'm not taking it. It wasn't up for discussion. You can't make me put anything in my body that I don't want to put in my body, and I'm not taking it. And I didn't. And so, you know, people just have to stand up for what they believe in. No coach, no trainer can make you put anything in your body that you don't want to. And if they are giving you a shot or giving you something, you need to know what it is. Ask what it is. But honestly, the sad truth is just that a lot of players are aware of what they're putting in their body, but because they want to be on the field, because that's how they get paid when they're playing. A lot of players play through playing in the NFL. It's the sad truth. And so they do take a lot of pain medications or the medication to numb the pain, or, you know, it's sad, but each player has to definitely take care of their body. Your body is your most important thing in your health.
You know, no doubt. And, you know, we have, like I said, mentioned again, we have a gentleman that's going to talk to us, not so much about that, but I'd love to get his ear and talk to us a little bit about that since he played in the league. Well, let's shift gears a little bit here because, you know, this is something we haven't done for a while. We're going to bring him back. High school football is back in the news. Why? Because it's recruiting time. And believe it or not, they always got to get ready to start looking at, you know, spring practice not too far away. So we're going to bring in one of our favorite head coaches here. He's from Jonesboro High School, head coach of the Jonesboro High School football Cardinals. Timothy Floyd is back with us in the building. Coach, welcome back.
Hey, thank you. I'm glad to be back, man. I appreciate you inviting me back.
Well, yeah, man, I'm excited to have you guys back. And as you can see, I have a lovely co-host now, Miss Doleman. So we're excited about her being with us as well.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good. How are you? Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well.
So, Coach, talk to us a little bit about, first of all, who'd you bring with you today? I think we got some people in the green room down there. It looks like you might have, wait a minute. Don't tell me you brought the Syrup King.
Yes, sir.
Let me get him on the screen. Hold up. This guy's got one of the best nicknames of all time. Coach Syrup in the building. What's going on, sir?
How you doing?
Okay, Coach, go ahead and describe what Coach Syrup does for you for Jonesboro High School.
Well, first of all, he's Coach Syrup. He's the Syrup King, Syrup God, coach the offensive line. He's also the recruiting coordinator. I know we were going to talk a little bit about that, so I invited him on with us.
Well, yeah, man, it's important, and this is a big time for you guys, right? You have this is basically the full part of recruiting season. They broke it up a little bit, I believe, right? A couple of years ago, they went to kind of like having signing days at 2 times of the year. Am I got that right?
Yes, it's an early period, and then the national signing day is still just passed. I think last week it was.
Mm-hmm.
And so, who else you have with you, Coach?
A couple of 2022 guys, juniors that'll be back next year. Cameron Leonard, a linebacker, and Kyle Hernandez, a receiver for us.
And there's Cameron, and let's see if we can get Kyle up in the building. And there's Kyle right there. Gentlemen, welcome to the show.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. Well, gentlemen, you know, it's first of all, Tree, what would you like to ask these guys about this, crazy season that we've had with COVID and all that kind of stuff?
Yeah, I just would like to ask both of you, how have you really pushed through this season? Because this season is like no other. I know it's difficult with everything going on with COVID and school and then also training. So how have you persevered through everything that has taken place this year and last year?
I'll start, Coach, sir. First of all, we had to educate ourselves to, make sure that, we kept ourselves safe so we can keep the kids safe and help them educate them about the situation. And, we tried to, follow guidelines that were set forth, plus things that we thought were best for our area, as well as, keep them informed and ask their opinion about certain situations. Coach Syrup, you want to add to that?
Like Coach said, we had to, educate ourselves. The beginning of March was kind of, a new thing with the virus going around. People knew about it, didn't know these things about it, didn't know these things. So moving towards the season, we was
kind of lost Coach there. We get to Coach Syrup. Coach? All right. I'm not sure where Coach kind of disappeared to. We'll hopefully we'll be able to get him back in the green room in just a moment. Well, gentlemen, now if we talk high school football, I always have to bring the experts in. So we have a guy that knows more about high school football probably than anybody here in the state of Georgia. He is, of course, one of the guys that brings you the high school football coverage for Georgia Public Broadcasting, GHSA. He is, to me, the living legend, the one and only Sam Crenshaw is in the building. Sam, welcome back, sir.
Always good to be here. I was you saying all them things. I'm like, who in the ham sandwich is he talking about? You know, it ain't me. I don't know who you talking about.
Everybody knew he was talking about this.
I knew it was you, Sam.
No. Coach Floyd, good to see you. And Cameron and Kyle, I saw you guys. I caught you guys for a couple of games during the season. It was very pleasant to see the way you played and the way you held your own and you didn't give up. I was at the Woodward Academy game and you guys were down in that one and were having some difficulties in the first half, but you didn't give up and you fought and I was most impressed with the way your team fought and played that night, Coach. And like you said, you got a couple of young players there who you're building on for the coming season. I think you guys are ready to be a factor and really run for that region championship in the coming season. That's what I'm looking forward to seeing.
And that's most definitely one of our goals. And, these two guys are, part of that core group and part of the leadership team that we think going to help get us there.
What are you guys doing this time of year? And I will ask because, like you said, we've gone through 2 recruiting periods. It's gotten that way. In this particular year, it's interesting because of the lack of visits. I mean, what you guys could put together on Huddle and any other thing and Zoom and any other thing you could use, was a good way just to get the players before the college coaches. And then all the shuffling that's going on, transfer portaling, and things that happens between the first recruiting day and the second recruiting day. There are a lot of opportunities that came available, just during that period of time. And I'm not saying that's going to happen that way every year, but Coach, wouldn't you agree there's a different kind of year really because dealing with the pandemic, a lot of people having their hands kind of tied, yet, you had all these coaching changes and I'm still hearing about coaching changes that are going on and how that affects those players and schools that all of a sudden have a scholarship or 2 available that maybe they didn't have before.
Yeah, it's most definitely a different kind of year. And like you said, there's a lot of changes going on and something may pop open that wasn't there previously. And, it's just we just trying to keep open communication with college coaches and with our kids, trying to find them a home. And we've also started, with the 2022 class, we're getting some interest on some of those kids too.
That's fantastic.
Well, I want to go around to some of the young men real quick and just kind of get some feedback to them and kind of how this was this season as far as how they were able to go through the COVID and kind of what your expectations are you coming up into the upcoming year. Kyle, I guess I'll go to you first.
I feel like this year it definitely hit us hard, especially with COVID, pushing back games, but luckily for us, nobody had got COVID for us, so we just kept pushing through no matter what was going on. If games were gonna get rescheduled, we just kept pushing through. We just kept doing us, and we just kept LOB strong.
Yeah, I got a chance to cover you guys during that stretch. Cameron, how was it? I think you guys played what was it, Coach? Like 3 games in 12 days. Cameron, how'd you guys make it through all that stuff?
Our coaches did a perfect job of this COVID stuff, like the situation. They let us push. We worked our butt off the whole week, the whole 12 days. Try to be number 1 team in the region. Just like we had that mindset, nobody can beat us, and we just LOB.
LOB, I like that. So give us the breakout. I'm an OG. So give us that LOB. What does that stand for?
Love our brothers.
Well, you guys did it, man. You guys were able to kind of, stand up and really do what we needed to do. Let's see. Okay, everybody's back, and I just want to make sure now. I think the syrup man himself is back in the building somewhere. Let's see if I can pop him back in. Coach, are you there? There he is.
Yes, sir. I'm sorry about that.
It's all good, Coach. So now for you as being an assistant coach, obviously you're a point man to help out, Coach Floyd. Kind of what was your sensibility going through the COVID is trying to keep the kids back on that field?
Like Cameron said, we was blessed to not have anybody with COVID. We did have to do the 3 games back to back. Just being on, my position, saying, hey, make sure you keep your mask on, make sure you're being safe. Us as the adults, we have to make sure they're doing the right thing because they're looking up to us. So, we have to do our right thing too.
Yeah, no doubt. It is a team effort. Now, let's go back to recruiting for just a second. We also have people here that have gone through this before. Tree, you one of them. How much for you at that time was the decision to go to school? Was it mostly yours? Did you have input from your parents? How was it for you? And then you might want to ask the young men the same thing.
Well, I know for me personally, I was the first in my family to go to college. So I did get some input with the recruiting, but honestly, I just was playing my heart out and looking at the different opportunities that came my way. And then I did discuss it with my father because I was going to go to University of Kentucky, North Carolina Tar Heels, and then Middle Tennessee called. And I had never heard of the school, but once I took a visit to discussing it with my father is what helped me choose to actually go to Middle Tennessee over the 2 larger universities. But I was blessed to have opportunities to play at pretty much most of the colleges in the United States, and it was a true blessing. So what are you all looking for when you're looking for a college to go to? What is your number one motivation that you two are looking for your recruitment experience?
Cameron, we'll go to you first on that one. What kind of you looking for when you're looking at colleges? And
me, personally.
Yep.
What did you say, Cameron?
I'm gonna have to say, first thing I'm looking for in this college is the education. Gotta have that good education. Gotta have what I want to do. Then, as like the sports, I'm gonna have to look for like a brotherhood that I fit in the best.
All right, Cal, let's go ahead and ask you, for you, what's kind of your big thing as you look at a school?
For me personally, picking back up what Cam said, like just that family, that brotherhood. Also some place that I got that I know that I want to be there for the next 4 years to get my education, to get my degree, and just have that football competitiveness, keep competitive.
I'll tell you, man, all that stuff really sounds like it's on point, man. You guys are really, making it happen, man. And I'm just excited that you guys are able to come on and talk to us again. Now, how about the upcoming season? What are you guys looking forward to this season as you move forward?
What we're looking forward to, any team that want to play us, we ready for anybody.
Coach, you sound like you got them ready already. Let's go to social media real quick. I'm ready to go. He said, let's get it right now. Let's go to social media because it's been buzzing here. Let's take a peek here. We got I think that is. Let me get my glasses on, boys. Let's see what we got. Yeah, I got the specs on. It says, looks like Peyton Nolavia says, yeah, that's my favorite uncle, Coach Sir, getting a big shout out right there. Also, we got our main man here. We call him the offensive coordinator. He's an assistant manager down at the at D&K Sioux City. H.C. Hardy. He said, sending congratulations to his cousin Lee Anthony Williams. He has 2 sons, former Roswell defensive back Anthony Williams Jr., was a 3-year player at Clemson and not Marshall. And give a big shout out to those who played at Buford as well, Malik Mo Williams. And then we want to go here to Miss LaShonda Baldwin. Coach Sir, man, you got a little fan club out here.
Yeah, he does.
Coach, there you go.
Yeah, he does.
Nationwide brand. That's a nationwide brand right there.
Okay. Well, good to have friends, Coach. Amen.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
And Shatari Zachary is saying, let's go Uno. So, yeah, Jonesboro High School, always folks representing. Once again, she's saying, I guess that is to Cameron, Uno, Auntie loves you. Amen. Why is it? I like it when the family gets involved in the shout out. Here's what I'm going to do, too. I'm going to go into the green room because I have another guest. He's supposed to be on a little bit later. But this young man played in the NFL. I just want to see if he's ready there in the green room and have him kind of give some quick thought on how it went for him when he got recruited. But one more folks on social media. Tanya Gay is saying, let's go, Cameron. All right, let's see if we have one of our special guests there, Mr. Clemente Gordon, lurking in the green room. Clemente, are you there, sir?
Yes, I'm here.
There he is, right there, the man himself.
Oh man,
sir.
there he is.
Well, listen, you see, today? Sir, we're doing good, man. We're doing fantastic. Good to have you here. I know you're not slated to come off for a few more minutes, but I saw you back there. What would you give as encouragement to these young men and maybe their families as they go through this recruiting process? Because you've been through it.
The main thing I would say, just when you go to the school, just make sure that you get a good feel for the school, for the coaching staff. Like you said, the educational part of it, make sure that's a school that fits your major and what you want to major in. And you'll just get a feel for it once you go down there. Of course, there's going to be some social activities that'll play a big part in it also. I'm not going to lie about that. But, still, you got to concentrate on the educational part of it. The football and basketball and baseball, whatever you're going for, that's going to come, because obviously if the school wants you, you're a great player. You are a great player, and they feel like that you can play there. That's going to come naturally. The hardest thing is the social part, learning school, because, see, when you go to college, no one wakes you up in the morning to go to class. You have a lot of freedom, and you really have to be disciplined.
Well, that's good advice all the way around. Let's go back to social media because it is buzzing. We got Nisha D saying, shout out to Coach Sir, your only sis. And Ardell Baldwin saying the same thing. Love you, little brother. Hey, man, he wants to call his whole family. All right, listen.
We're going to start printing some T-shirts for Coach, man. We're going to print some T-shirts and some bumper stickers.
Hey, Coach, listen, I'm not mad at you, man. We appreciate that. We always ask our guests to definitely let people know they're coming on. And, Coach, you've done a great job being kind of like on the vanguard for social media. I know that a lot of times that Coach Floyd, he's busy. And I know from talking with him, social media is not really his thing. So, Coach Sir, I know you do it up big on Twitter.
I follow Coach Sir, man. I follow Coach Sir on Twitter. I'm on you, Coach.
Thank you.
Hey, you big time now, Mr. Crenshaw following you.
Coach Floyd, I want to ask you one thing while we got you here. I know we hope to get everything back on schedule and have spring ball in May. I know a lot of people doing their mat drills and doing their lifting and their running right now. Will it be the same way for the recruiters? Usually May is an important time. That's when the recruiters get to come to the schools. They can come to practice. They can go into the halls of the schools, talk to teachers, assistant principals, really do their fact finding. Are we going to be back on schedule for that this spring?
Not with that part. As far as my understanding is now, they're not allowed to come into the practice or the schools yet. So we're just trying to wait to see how that's going to be.
If I can I piggyback on that?
Yeah, go ahead, Coach.
Like Coach said, right now, coaches are still not able to, come in the building. So that's why Twitter is big and Huddle is big. That's why you see me on Twitter all the times of the night, just trying to push our guys because they can't come to the buildings. And, you can't say, I got one guy, but here just got walking down the hall. So it's kind of difficult now, but, we're planning to have something change.
Well, I tell you, man, like I said, seeing it firsthand, being the official live stream for Clayton County at Terra Stadium, I saw you guys really handle things well. They were able to even bring some fans in, Sam, a little bit. So, again, we're very, very appreciative of you guys staying with us, especially talking about, I think it was like 3 games in 17 days. I will tell you something. Talking about love our brotherhood, I was trying to feel some love because I'm a little bit older than y'all. I'm about worn out. I'll be honest with you. I was like, man, please, no more games. Please, please, please. Let's go to social media one more time here. We got, let's see here. I believe we have the lovely Shantira Zachary giving all kind of thumbs up and smiles. H.C. Hardy said his sister was a better baller at Morrow when they had those championships. Okay, I'm not doing that. And then another shout out to the coach from Tamara Henson. Shout out to Coach D. So, gentlemen, as you can see, social media is buzzing. And we just again want to thank you and thank everybody from Jonesboro High School for supporting our show and allowing you guys to come out. I know you guys are busy. Got a lot of stuff going on. All right. Now, I'm going to ask you.
One thing?
Yeah, jump in, ma'am. Jump in. I'll be yakking. Go ahead.
To all of the high school seniors out there, juniors, sophomores, I love what the gentleman said on the show. Whenever you're going to college, make sure that you look for a place that is going to feel like family. Make sure that that coaching staff and the support staff, the athletic director, that they really care about you and your future, because that is what makes all the difference. Once you go to college, they will be your family away from home, and you will live, breathe, eat, sleep, whatever sport you're playing in college when you go for a scholarship. So just keep that in mind.
Well, I don't think you get any better advice than that, gentlemen. From one who knows. I mean, since he's been there, done that, so we definitely appreciate it. So now, like you said, Coach Ford, I ain't gonna ask him. I know who to ask. Coach, sir, give us the breakdown of how we can follow Jonesboro High School online. Please, sir. Help us out.
Okay, on Instagram, you got JHS Cardinal Football, and on Twitter, we got JHS Cardinal FB, and also our recruiting page that I run, Recruit Jonesboro FB.
Don't forget Facebook for the
Oh, yeah, and Facebook for it says Jonesboro High.
Well, there we go. Follow Jonesboro High School, guys. Check them out. If you want to see some game film, we actually, if you go to our YouTube page, Real Talk Sports page, we actually have, I think, 3 or 4 of their games that we covered. We have the entire game stream. We also have some pregame highlights where the fellas get into a little bit of a turn up. So we got some music underneath, you know, a little something that we do. So if you guys, again, go check us out on our page. It's Real Talk Sports on YouTube. And you guys will be able to do it. Okay, one last comment from social media before Jonesboro goes. It's from our good friend H.C. Hardy. And he says, the key is community and business needs to help more with these programs, as well as alumni, not only to give back to those that made it into the pros in any aspect to show their faces, and also be a mentor to help them get where they're going, but most of all, strong family support. And I think that everybody agrees with that. And speaking of strong support in the community, CJ, that's actually Coach CJ. He's been around for many, many years. Coached at Mays. We covered them back in 14 when they made their run. So, Coach, appreciate you. Miss Shanteri Zachary, Yasonda Zachary. We want to get everybody's comments in before we let Jonesboro go. Everybody's very proud of you guys. So, you know you got folks in your corner. We're looking, guys, until the next time we bring you back on. We want to get you guys back on as we go into the spring season, so you guys can kind of keep us updated on what's happening at the school, and any of you young gentlemen want to come on and practice your skills on that media interview, y'all can come on the show as well.
Yes, sir. We thank you for having us, and we most definitely be looking forward to coming back.
Absolutely. We appreciate you, and we look forward to you. Well, guys, listen, you know, we've been yakking. Our sponsors are going to get mad because we got to take a break. Listen to the Real Talk Sports Show. Don't go anywhere because we got more good sports talk coming up in just a moment. Don't go nowhere. Stay tuned.
Did you know that Allen Vigil Ford in Morrow, Georgia also has Lincoln? Over 35 years of using the Vigil Touch to provide excellent customer service, works hand in hand with the Lincoln Motor Company to provide a luxurious and seamless way to acquire your next luxury vehicle. Lincoln has an array of full-service complimentary owner benefits. These benefits include hospitality partnerships, service pickup and delivery, all which can be accessed through the Lincoln Way app. You can even contact the 24/7 concierge to have someone assist you. Come and see our great inventory of new and pre-owned Lincolns today. Call 678-364-7345 to make an appointment with one of our brand champions, or shop 24/7 online at allenvigillincoln.net. The day has arrived. It's time to let more people know about your business. You have the right marketing plan and the messaging in place. But do you have the right messenger? Good advertising and promotions need a professional sound so the message can be clearly understood. Don't leave your brand image to chance. Let our team of voiceover experts at CME lend you a hand. Give us a call at 678-304-8121 to find out how we can partner with you to give your business its voice.
All right, everybody, we are back here listening to the Real Talk Sports Show, watching the Real Talk Sports Show on multiple portals. First of all, big shout out to those of you who are watching on the replay on Periscope. We appreciate you so much. And also to those of you who are watching us live on Facebook Live, we appreciate you. And also you new guys on Twitch, big shout out. And of course, our favorite standbys on Facebook and on YouTube Live. You're watching the live from Atlanta, Real Talk Sports Show from the Lockdown Living Room. I'm your host, Mr. Jonathan Simmons. And the lovely lady right next to me is my co-host, Ms. Tree Doleman. And we have 2 special guests on with us tonight. Everybody likes to talk about Black history, but see, we are Black history. So we don't have to get these special guests on because we have some great ones right here. Sam Crenshaw, I like to call him the living legend. He gets mad with me when I tell him that, but the bottom line is this guy has been on TV for years here in this market, and he's done it all. Falcons, he's done college football with Georgia State. He's done high school football with Georgia High School State Association. And Mr. Clemente Gordon, a guy who's done great things in the community, and his own father, who's going to tell us a little bit about, is also a living legend himself. Mr. Gordon, tell us a little bit about your dad, sir.
My dad was the first Black news cameraman in the Southeast. And February 14th, I think 1968, he walked into Channel 11 as the first Black hire that wasn't a maid or a valet butler, so to speak, in the company. So that was he's definitely a living legend. Sam knows him well. I know Sam well.
Yeah, I know him very well.
Legend.
Absolutely,
Yeah,
absolutely, man. And a mentor to me and to many who came along, wanted to work in the industry, and I always appreciate the way he just kind of took me under his wing, saw that I was serious about it, and because he ain't gonna put the time into you unless he knows you're serious. But he knew I was serious, and so he put the time in with me and let me see it, let me see everything, learn how to do some things, and always gives me great advice. Still gives me great advice to this day. And of course now, you know, Clemente, you played college ball, but your dad played college ball too, and they revived the program at his alma mater, which is Allen University.
Yes.
Yeah, over in Columbia, South Carolina. And then new members coming into the SIAC, so they're gonna be coming to town on a regular to play against Clark Atlanta and Morehouse. And your dad's excited, man. I got to call the bookstore or something over there. He want me to get him a hat and a T-shirt with Allen on it.
He loved that. That's all he wanted is a T-shirt or a hat. Yeah,
he's excited about his school being back, and he should be. This is a big time for HBCUs and for college athletics. So, it's great to see him do that. But yeah, give his dad your props. Many people, I know he had a big birthday celebration. I called Monica Pearson and got her on the line with him. They worked together many times when he had gone over to work at WSB, and that's where I first encountered him. That's when I was in college, and he would just put me in. You want to come on, go with us? We going on a shoot. Come on, go with us. And just put me in the back of the car, and I'm riding along, my eyes big as saucers, man. You know, I'm in college. I'm learning things and seeing things, and like I said, I never thank him enough for the time that he spent just letting me touch and letting me learn and real experience, talking to me in a real way about it.
Right.
Tree, how important is it seeing these guys talk about this giving back in the community?
It's phenomenal. It really is phenomenal. As we know, representation matters. It's very important for us to see our own, and we can aspire to learn from them. And so I love that he mentored Sam and taught him the way to go and taught him the ropes, and look how great Sam is. And I've always appreciated Sam from the moment I met him many years ago, and just the hard work that he puts in. But it's so important. So I just love hearing this conversation. And it's important that once we make it, we have to reach back and help others get to where they want to be.
Well, that's well said there. And see, now I know that as soon as you came on, Sam, like when you popped in the corner, like Tree got a big grin. Oh, it's Sam! You got real excited, bro.
Well, I tell you what, we talk about Black history, and Mente, right now, he is kind of bearing the lead because he played collegiately at Grambling, and that means he played for legendary coach Eddie Robinson. That's right. I can't say enough about the times I had a chance to be in his presence, to interview he and his wife. And I was blessed to work the sideline for the game when he played Mississippi Valley. He got his 400th win, and it was my job to interview him when he got his call from President Clinton on the 50-yard line for this game for ESPN2. And I didn't even know I was going to get to do this game. And they paid me for it. But see, I'd done a game for ESPN a few weeks before for free, and I ruined a new pair of shoes because it rained. but they sent me to Grambling. And Mente, I got to tell you, what Coach Rob used to say all the time is true. You can't get to Grambling by accident. You got to be looking for
You
Grambling.
got to
to
be
find
looking for
Grambling.
Grambling. You have to be looking for it. You definitely have to be looking for it. It's that small.
Talk about that.
It's that small.
Talk about that experience. You coming from a big city, you coming from Atlanta, and going to Grambling, Louisiana, where the story goes, he used to have to get on the railroad track with a red flag to get the train to stop when it came through there. Talk about going to a place like that. That's a small corner of the world, but important place as well.
Well, I mean, I tell you, when my mom, me and Fred Jones, who played with the Chiefs, and James Brown, we all signed together from Southwest DeKalb, and our moms took us down, drove us down, and had a van with all our stuff in it. My mom put me over to the side, and she said, come here for a minute. Let me explain something to you. I told her, she said, you need to make this work down here. You got to make this work. Don't come home. She said, come home on visits and holidays, but don't come home like getting put out or nothing like that. You have to make this work, and don't stay down here and trying to be slick and because you think because you're from Atlanta that you're slicker than everybody and know everything and all that. She said you need to just do what these people ask you to do and do right. And that stood out with me a whole lot. But as far as just being down there in the city, the small town, and playing for Coach Eddie Robertson, man, that was just amazing. It's kind of surreal when you go and sit in the office with him, and you'll really get caught up just looking at him. And while he's speaking to you, and all his words are just zoned out after a while, and you'll look and be like, I'm sitting in front of Eddie Robertson. That's how I was the first time. So it really took some getting used to. But he will wake you up because he was a hard man. He was very hard, very stern, hard work. That's all he believes in, hard work. He ran the same place for 40 years. He didn't change not one play. He ran the same place for 40 years. And he'd tell him, just be better than the man in front of you. He's not running no trick plays. He's not changing them. You could have scouted us in 1989 with a film from Doug Williams back in 1978. He ran the same plays. It was just all about hard work and being a good American. That was his thing. That was his saying. Be a good American, hard work. He taught a lot of guys character, integrity, learning the game. He was a teacher of the game, and he was a teacher of life. He always taught you to the victor go the spoils. Sometimes we'll be mad because we lost the game and don't want to sing the national anthem, the school song after the game, and he'll tell the band, hold it, stop, start over. Just sing the song. Them boys whooped y'all. Sing the song. That has nothing to do with it. So he taught us that. He taught us a lot of things like that about life. A lot of stuff that Coach Rob taught us was not only about football, but was about life also.
Well, I tell you, man, it's just listening to that and hearing those stories about Grambling. It's incredible. I never got a chance to meet Coach Rob. I did get a chance to meet two of his great quarterbacks here with the when they were doing some work at the Black College Hall of Fame. Got a chance to meet Doug Williams and James Shaq Harris, and those two fellas are pretty impressive, I got to say.
No, they are. I haven't seen Doug in a couple years. I was just at the College Football Hall of Fame downtown last year for Coach Robinson's. It would have been his 100th birthday or something like that. They had a big celebration for him down there. And Shaq, James Harris, he was there. And me and him spoke a lot and exchanged numbers and took some pictures together.
Sam, you didn't tell me about that, man. You supposed to keep me in the loop.
I keep you in the loop with some things. That's
oh, have mercy.
It's history. As we get set to play football here in a couple of weeks, Grambling and the schools in the SWAC are going to tee it up and play some spring football. And Mente, I don't know how you feel about guys playing games this time of year. It's going to be a little bit different, but I'm excited about your conference. Man, you got Florida A&M coming in, you got Bethune-Cookman coming in, and you got Deion Sanders at Jackson State. Now, the Coach Primetime is promising to shake things up down there, Minister Simmons. He's going to get some players. He come down, he picked a couple of dudes up that's supposed to be going over to Athens to play for Georgia. Got them coming down to Jackson State. He coming to change the game, Mente. What the rest of the schools going to do to raise their game now?
Well, we're going to see. I'm going to see March the 6th about that because they come to Grambling March the 6th. And I'm going to head down to Grambling on March the 6th. And he has done some great things. Now, make no mistake about it. I think the hiring of Deion Sanders was great for the SWAC as a whole and all black college football. And he has made some moves and got some transfers, some big name transfers, but that's been going on for years. You know, they got to play together. He got to get them to jail together, you know, and, you know, from coming from University of Tennessee or University of Georgia, going to Jackson State or Texas Southern, you know, it's a little different. You know, it's a lot of distractions that can keep you from being on your game. You know, you have to be mentally strong to play have to be mentally strong to play at a HBCU, because not only the lifestyle is different, the facilities are not the same, you know, and the guys are different. You know, the guys gonna try to talk you out of your game. They gonna do most of the talking to try to talk you out of your game. The guys on your own team, especially if you're better than them, you know, they're gonna try to talk you out of the game. Period. Anyway, so we gonna see. And like I think my boy Fred McNair said the other week, a couple of weeks ago at an interview, they asked him how come he didn't mention Deion Sanders' name. Fred said he don't have any SWAC hours. So he don't have no SWAC hours yet. So I can't really give him no props either until he gets some SWAC hours.
Yeah. He do coming into the league. I tell you what though, and this for Tree and for Minister Simmons and for you, Mente, you know, he's talking some guys into making a sacrifice. And then let's just be honest about the recruiting process. The top players, everybody feels like they need to go to the ACC or the SEC or the big schools where they run out in front of 90,000 people each week on national television. They're going to have to sacrifice that to go to Jackson State. But they got to be doing it in the mind they're doing something for a bigger purpose. And also they got to have a good experience. I mean, that's the main thing he's got to make sure they have, that they go there and has an environment for success on the field. He's going to coach them up, and if they have the ability to play at the next level, he's going to get them ready. That's the big thing he wants to prove, that they can go to Jackson State and you can get to the next level. Because basically our folks have been sold a bill of goods. If you don't go to an SEC school, you can't play pro ball. So he's going to disprove that to start. But also he needs to give them a good experience. He does. They need to have a good experience, have a path for success, education. You talk about the socialization, that's good. But one thing that they're going to get, not in the spring, but in the fall, that they cannot get at the SEC, they cannot get at the ACC. Jackson State will kick off against Florida A&M in Miami in the Dolphin Stadium. And those guys are going to walk out in front of 70,000 people that look like them. You can't get that in the SEC. You can't get that in the ACC. That's right. That's what I'm talking about. If Deion Sanders gives those guys a great experience, you know, then you have others that will come and follow.
That's right. And you're absolutely right. I mean, they have to that's going to be, it's probably going to be a shock for a lot of them, but when they see that, that'll change their whole mindset.
You've seen that. You know,
I've seen it. Like. You know, I've seen it. Bayou Classic. I mean, I've seen it, and it was stunning. You know, to me, but I was thrilled about it, and I performed well, and of course I got drafted, and that's one of the things. You know, before Coach Godfrey retired, you know, that was kind of like people started giving a knock on him about that. He wasn't sending guys to the D1 schools. I mean, I thought it was about really getting a free education. I mean, that's what it was when I was coming up. You know, my mom was like, you know, they're gonna give you a scholarship. You know, go. You know, I don't care where you go. And nowadays in the NFL, you can play at any college, man. If you're good enough, the NFL will find you. I mean, they'll find. Look at the defensive back. The Falcons had a couple of years. What's the name? The short guy. Played cornerback, number 20. He went to the Dolphins later on. I can't think of his name, but he went to a college I never even heard of.
Yeah. He was up in Pennsylvania, like Shippensburg, one of them schools.
Shippensburg, yeah. I mean,
that was Brent Grimes.
Brent Grimes.
Had those bad hops. You know. Had a bad white too. That's another story.
Yeah, but when you're in high school and playing ball and trying to get a scholarship, man, it's still, you know, I think a lot of times we lose, you know, a lot of parents have lost focus on what it's really about. You know, it's about the education, man. You getting a free education. My mom, I went to Grambling for 5 years, for 4 years plus a red shirt year, and my mom didn't pay not one dime. So, I mean, that's what it's about to me. And then you get that education.
Now, Tree, how about you? When you go out, because you do a lot of stuff out in the community, what is that your same message to the younger kids? It's about the education?
Yeah, I always tell them it's about the education and what you can do to get a free education, because you're a student athlete first. So it's all about your grades. And I just think nowadays it's just too many parents that are pushing their kids to be professional athletes. You even see it when you go and see the young 8, 9, 10-year-old kids playing football. It's like every parent thinks that their child is going to be the next Peyton Manning or Tom Brady. And it's like, just let your kids be a kid and have fun and play. If that happens, then yes, it happens. But it's just a crazy society, and I think that it is about the education. Take your opportunity to get a free education.
On that note, we're going to get some free advertisement for just a second here. Listen, guys, you're watching Real Talk Sports Show. Don't go anywhere. Keep it locked. We'll take a break. We'll be back with more in just a moment. Hang in there. We'll be back.
Are you in the market for a new vehicle? Well, check out Allen Vigil Ford Lincoln in Morrow, Georgia. We have one of the largest inventories in our area for both new and pre-owned vehicles, so we're sure to have something for everyone. Family owned and operated since 1982, customer satisfaction is our number one priority. Come see our full lineup of vehicles and find the one that best fits you. Give us a call today, 678-726-5739, or shop us 24/7 online at allenvigilford.net. Nothing better than the sound of diesel in the morning. And what better place to get high horsepower diesel than the all-new 2020 Ford F-250, now with 475 horsepower and over 1,000 foot-pounds of torque. You know where to get it? From me, the minister, Jonathan Simmons at Allen Vigil Ford Commercial Sales. Because you know why? I'm the commercial truck guy in a shirt and tie.
This is OJ Howard with Real Talk Sports.
What's up, guys? This is Tim Tebow. You're listening to Real Talk Sports.
This is Charles Woodson. Let me grab the mic. You ready? This is Charles Woodson with Real Talk Sports. Hey, it's your boy JB Smooth with Real Talk Sports.
Had to get it all in. You know, I got to do a little promotion for the dealership. Got to do a little self-promotion. Got to do a little bit of this and that. You're welcome back to the Real Talk Sports Show. I'm your host, Mr. Jonathan Simmons. Right next to me, the lovely Ms. Tree Doleman, the living legend, Mr. Sam Crenshaw, and our community spotlight. And we're going to say he's our Black History guy as well. Clemente Gordon is in the building. Now, gentlemen, while we took that break, you know, it's always time for us to make a little transition to talk a little pro football and our Atlanta Falcons. And Sam, now you know, if we're talking Falcons, there's only one man that we're going to call if it's the Falcons. He's the embedded beat writer for AJC Sports. He does great stuff with the Falcons. He always gets the first question at every press conference. He's also Esquire par excellence, professor par excellence, the one and only D. Orlando Ledbetter is in the building. D-Led, welcome back, sir.
Hey, Reverend Simmons, thanks for having me on the show tonight, and hello to all the guests, Miss Tree, Miss Brother Gordon, and Brother Crenshaw.
How you doing?
What's going on? What's going on? Now, D-Led, watch out for Mente. He's a Grambling man. I know he's a Howard man. So we don't want no HBCU. We'll no HBCU problems on here tonight.
It's all love up in the HBCU room.
Hey, to the victor go to spoils. Howard beat me twice.
Here we go.
They beat me twice. They beat me twice. I got to give it to them. Up in New York, they got me twice.
Whitney Young Bowl.
That's right.
Yeah.
Well, gentlemen, the minds of everybody now are on the NFL and all the craziness going on here. We got NFL free agency now is in full throttle. Of course, everybody's worried about the draft. So first of all, I just want to kind of get some feelers out there. I'm going to go to Miss Doleman first. You've been seeing all this stuff going on here, all this great stuff happening. I'm going to give you a couple of guys out of Houston. I'm going to ask you your opinion on whether they would fit here with the Falcons. What would you think about the Falcons bringing in number 99, J.J. Watt, to come play for us?
I think J.J. Watt would be a good addition, and we'll see. Like I think that the main thing that we just really need guys that are ready to work hard, and we really need that mental mentality. we have some talent. It'll be great to add on more talent, but we need guys that are really mentally tough that can finish a game.
That's well said right there. No more fade outs. Now I'm gonna throw you one more name out of Houston as well. Now this would probably take a king's ransom and then some. But would you like the idea of number 4, Mr. Deshaun Watson, coming to Atlanta?
I actually would love that idea. I think if he came, it would be great for the fans, great for the city of Atlanta. I think he would be happy here. I think it would be a great move for him as well as for the Falcons. We'll see. I'm actually very curious about that one because I've been hearing different things about it, but we'll see. I do think it would be good for Atlanta, though.
All right, we're going to go to the expert, D-Led. Those 2 questions out there. Any shot that the Falcons will, first of all, even go after either one of those 2 guys, and do you think it would be a good fit?
0 and 0. Hey, we can't talk about it, right? We go over the Falcons salary cap situation. They are upside down. JJ was getting ready to make $17 million. So unless he's coming on the free, and we're going to tell him in food stamps, he ain't coming. But, hey, he looks pretty good out there if we can get it. Same thing with Mr. Watson. He's 25, just signed a big contract. We already got one big contract on the roster. So unless they swap, it couldn't make sense. But, you're Houston. Do you take that deal? And that's probably a no. You don't trade a 26-year-old quarterback, 25-year-old quarterback for a 37-year-old quarterback. That'd be history. That'd be a historical trade of all time.
All right, I'm gonna throw some sweeteners in there. This is my trade proposal to the Houston Texans. You will take our Mr. Matt Ryan, who's done a phenomenal job here with Atlanta, and will give you some stability because Mr. Watson no longer wants to be there. You will give us Mr. Watson. In addition to Mr. Ryan, we will give you our first-round pick, which is number 4. You could probably get your quarterback replacement right there. And if that's not enough for you, I'll give you a choice. You can take a second-round pick in 2022 or another first-round pick in 2023. What say you?
Well, that'd be quite a hard deal to turn down. You pretty much will regulate Watson to the same situation he's in Houston with no team around him.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I think Deshaun wouldn't mind tossing the ball around to Mr. Julio and to some of the other firepower we got here. He could kind of live with that. I think he would be able to at least escape the rush a little bit better than Matt with that Matt shift line. So, that's my offer right there.
Well, that's all right. Maybe they'll take that one. Maybe I'll get off at 0 and move that up to 10 to 15%.
All right. Okay. That's all. I just want to get off the side.
Being generous.
Yeah, there you go.
Being generous.
But we gotta talk about stuff like that. The fans want to hear that. Maybe I'm too close to the numbers and stuff, and just haven't seen it. But heck, why part of being a fan is being able to dream about your team getting better. And then maybe one day they do make a trade. I remember where I was at. I was driving down South Cobb Drive when I heard on the radio that the Falcons had traded for with the Chargers to get the number 1 pick. And I just started speeding off to the house so I could order my ticket. So, maybe something like that will happen. Get the fan base excited. Watson would certainly do that. J.J. Watt would do that. And then a couple people in the draft at number 4 would do that. So we're at a point where the franchise took a dive down to last place, and they need to do something to bring them back up.
Yeah, there's no doubt. They're going to have to find some way to get fans back in the stadium. How they're going to do it, we don't know. I'm going to run around and ask everybody this same question that's been going out, the idea of what the Falcons should do with that number 4 pick. So I'm going to go to you, Sam, first. Should they keep the pick or should they package together and drop down?
If they're not ready to go ahead and get a quarterback right now, they may want to drop down. But whichever one they do, I think a priority. You do draft a quarterback in this draft. I'm not saying it's the number one player that you pick, but you do get one in this draft, I think. The offense, both it's the lines, though. I think it's both lines. We still don't have enough pass rush. We still got to have better pass protection. We got to remember what division we're in. You know, we face the New Orleans Saints, and they dribble Matt Ryan like a basketball all day long. And we just saw a defense chase Patrick Mahomes all over the field. 900 yards, it just scrambling. So those are the defenses that we got to deal with. So to me, we get to do something with the offensive line.
All right, Clemente, what you think? Keep number 4 or package together and get some more picks?
Well, I mean, me being an offensive guy, I feel like if you're at number 4, you pick the best player that's available, whether that be Devontae Smith or Jamar Chase. Because, I mean, I look at the Falcons' offense really wasn't that bad last year. I just want a coach to come in and put Matt Ryan in the position like he was when they went to the Super Bowl. I think Matt Ryan will be a top 5 quarterback if he's in the hurry up. I mean, I've seen him in the hurry up, go downfield many a times with no problem. And, if they keep him in the hurry up, I mean, I think the Falcons offense they need to go defense. I mean, the Falcons need to really get some defense. But with that first pick, if Chase is available or Devontae Smith, I mean, you got to go offense and put Matt Ryan in the hurry up, and the offense will put up big numbers. And they'll do something. Then later on, down, second round or something, you can just go all defense. The Falcons need a pass rush. If they get a pass rush, and if they had a pass rush, the Falcons really last year should have been at least 10-6, man, really, when you really look at it, being honest. But their offense put up numbers last year. I mean, so I don't really think the offense need to be – they just need to tweak that part of it. I think put Matt Ryan in the hurry up, and the offense will come back.
Okay, before I go to treat Doleman, I don't even know what to say right now because I've been saying repeatedly, I've asked in the press conference, how come Matt, this is what he does best. He is the best when he's operating in a hurry up. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to remove myself from the broadcast for a second. I'm going to turn this over to Mr. Treat Doleman. She's going to give her opinion, and you guys can chop it up. All right, Treat, who do you keep number 4, get some more picks?
Well, I think that if we do keep number 4, which is a good option because it is a high round for the draft, we need to get somebody who's a game changer, somebody who will come, a big name that will make a difference in Atlanta right away. But ultimately, we do also have the option where we can trade for it. And if we do trade for the number 4 pick, we also need to get a game changer. I think the big thing that Atlanta Falcons need this year, we need some big names that will make the fans really excited because we'll start winning. And we just really need to change the team charisma. It's just the chemistry just needs to get better, and we need some players that are going to come in here with that great finish mentality. We always can start great but not finish the game, so we just need people that know in their minds that no matter what happens, we are not winning. We are not losing this game. You could be down in the 4th quarter, still come back and win, and just know without a shadow of the doubt that we will win this game and believe it. It's all mental.
All right, I'm going to let y'all handle this for a second. D-Leg, 4 or more?
Well, I've been studying the draft. I'm doing my podcast on why Falcons were at Trevor Lawrence's pro day, and I pulled out my book here from 2012. That's Mel Kiper's 2012 draft preview, and the number 10 quarterback was somebody named Russell Wilson, number 10. And let's read some of the ones who went in front of him. Ryan Tannehill, Nick Foles, Brandon Weeden, Kirk Cousins, B.J. Coleman, Ryan Lindley, Case Keenum, G.J. Kinney, and Chandler Harnish. Those are your top 9 quarterbacks in 2012, according to our guy Mel Kiper. Russell Wilson was number 10. So drafting quarterbacks.
I don't listen to Mel Kiper, man.
Yeah.
No.
But my point is, Sam, drafting the quarterback's a crapshoot. Unless you're absolutely sure, I'm going to take the best player available. Although I do think the best player available might be the quarterback from Ohio State and Georgia in Justin Fields. But drafting the quarterback is so hard. I got some more numbers. I won't bore y'all with those. But yeah, at 4, I stay put and take the best player available. Build my team that way.
I like the numbers.
I think it's Justin. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Tree. You ready? She's ready. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was just saying for D-Led, I like the numbers. You don't bore us with the numbers.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
Now, numbers are good, man. That's it. Speaking of numbers, let's go to the number of people who are burning up social media here. Let's go here to our good friend of the show from D&K Suit City. I got to put the regular glasses on. Coach Hardy says, watching impact alone, not only as a player, but in the community would be tremendous for a player that came from humble beginnings, as well as a recipient of the Work Done Foundation Award to pay it forward in his home state. Also, Mr. Hardy states that, and J.J. Watt, leadership would impact the defense along with Grady Jarrett. And, of course, we can't stop until we have Slim giving a big shout-out to Clemente, saying what's up. And then Coach Hardy says if Ryan is kept, we still need to acquire a plug-and-play QB similar to Taysom Hill that can create some plays. All right, well, D-Led, first of all, let me kind of hit on that for a second. Taysom Hill, I mean, do you want kind of like a gimmicky type quarterback around?
Well, we had one. They had one the last couple of years in Muhammad Sanu and Russell Gage. They didn't use them that much. Gage threw a touchdown this year. Muhammad, former college quarterback at Rutgers, he threw a couple, but they didn't use them that much. So they've always had that. They just got it from the receiver stockpile, not from the quarterback stockpile. I'm not a gadget guy. I'm on line up and running the ball down your throat. When you start getting into all that gadget stuff, that's just extra. I don't really, espouse to that theory of stopping your flow of the game to put a gadget guy in and so forth. But Sean Payton is making it work for him, so maybe that is another avenue to pursue. But we're not talking the fourth overall pick for a gadget quarterback.
Right.
All right. So I don't know. Like I said, I had to take a break for a second here. Everybody's talking a little bit about the offensive line. Do you want to pull a trigger on the gentleman? Maybe you mentioned this already, D. Do you want to pull a trigger on the big tackle from Oregon at number 4?
I'm tempted. Yeah, I'm tempted, but I think I keep seeing the Clemson game in my head though. I keep seeing Justin Fields just dropping bombs on my head every time I pick the tackle. So every time I start thinking about that, I'm like, nah, we'll get a tackle later, man. We can't. I don't really see nobody dropping bombs like this. So
yeah, there's no doubt. I mean, if you got a chance to get him, you got to get him. I mean, because this draft looks deep enough where I think you can go further in the draft. I don't know if you get necessarily a plug and play lineman, but a lineman that would be a serviceable guy. I also think you can get a running back and a defender somewhere in this draft that could make some impact on this Falcon team.
Yeah, no question about it. And then the quarterback from BYU that everybody's hyping. I mean, them are the same people that were hyping Trubisky. Okay, right. And then I got in 2017, Trubisky went 2, Mahomes went 10, and Watson went 12. So you don't, these are the same guys. So don't pay attention to the Zach Wilson hype. The kid lost to Coach Carolina. So, I mean, I'm not picking him. And, you can get some of those other pieces later. Definitely the running back. You got a new offensive line coach, and, they're going to have to play harder. They're going to have to play harder. Ain't going to be no nice talking to these guys and no brotherhood stuff and, this petty pat stuff. No, they're going to have to get after it and get ready to go knock some people off the line of scrimmage and protect the quarterback. I didn't even see guys going there to help him up when he was getting knocked around the last couple of years. That's just not allowed.
Pull up.
D, I'm going to have you dial. Hold on a second. D, I'm going to do a little housekeeping. I'm going to have you dial back your volume just a little bit. We're starting to get some modulation. I don't know if you can do that, but just dial it back just a little bit. Sam, go ahead.
No, you were talking about those things. You mentioned you Justin Fields, and I was saying if the number 4 pick and Fields is there and they passing by, we might see a revolt in this town. We do have something called in this town called that's a phenomenon in the NFL compared to some cities. We have something called black season ticket holders.
That's right.
In Atlanta.
That's right.
Hey,
you know what I mean?
You see the Hawks do. You see the drive the Hawks.
And you don't have that in all major cities, not to the degree we have here in this city. So, I mean, to have him available at number 4 and skip over him and not take him, you know, and I know we got a new brain trust, we got new general manager, we got new head coach and all that, but money also talks, and our team is owned by a highly successful businessman who knows his market. So I remind people of all of those things going into it as well.
And let me do a little history lesson. That same gentleman that's in the chair now, 20 years ago, bet the farm for that same reason, brought a guy here, won number 7, and we know what happened there. I'm not trying to say that Justin Fields will do that, but there's no question that we know that Arthur Blank will do it. So y'all got my vote. If he's available, they got to take him. Clemente, what do you think?
I mean, I think it's a no-brainer if he's available. I can't see the Jets passing him up, though, at number 2. That's my thoughts. I mean, if they don't take him, and if he is available, then I mean, of course, that's a no-brainer. But my thing is, he may not be a sleeper. I think he'll still be a first rounder. But we know Trevor Lawrence is going to do well in the NFL. We know Justin Fields is going to do well. The quarterback from North Dakota State, he's going to do well in the NFL also. His name should be Trey Lance. Trey Lance. Mm-hmm. He's going to do well also. I mean, you can't sleep on him. He has a big arm. He can run. Got a big arm, and he can run, and he can move around, and he got good size. People sleeping on him. He's going to come in. I think he could come in and make an impact as well.
Well, I think he's going to need a little time. I think he kind of reminds me of the kid out of Buffalo. Same kind of mentality. Big, strong guy, can sling the ball around, but you got to get him a system where you can get that accuracy. Because one thing so far, North Dakota State, I mean, the guy, I don't think it's the first time in years I ever heard of a modern day quarterback not throwing for 50% completion rate. I mean, he doesn't do it. But man, I watched the clip of him throwing that deep ball. Boy, that was like a thing of beauty.
Yeah, he can't throw it.
That's the only thing. He only played one game this past season.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But any other breaking news come out of the Falcons camp? I know the Brain Trust has been all over television. NFL networks had them on. They've been doing a tour of Mercedes-Benz Stadium, which I find kind of funny because both of them, at least Fontenot, he's been there plenty of times. But anyway, any breaking news coming from Flowery Branch?
No, nothing. It's kind of dead period. They went to Trevor Lawrence's pro day on Friday, so that was news. Everything they're going around to the NFL Network, just repeating what's on their bullet point talking script. They're not breaking news out there, so they're making the rounds. The team's own part of NFL Network, so they're obligated to appear on there from time to time. So that's kind of what they're doing, just telling them the same stuff they told us about Julio and Matt and all their grandiose ideas on how they're going to get better and so forth and so on. And we'll talk to them again here on the 23rd of that week, which would have been their normal combine visitation with the media. But since we're not going to the combine, we'll kind of get the state of the team. But the big issue is, how they're going to cut the roster down. They don't know how they're going to do it yet because the salary cap number hasn't been set yet. And so, they're kind of twisting in the wind with how they're going to cut down to get underneath the salary cap. And then, if they're going to have any money left to go after any decent mid-level to low-level free agents.
Yeah, a lot going on there with the Falcons camp, still with money. Let's go to social media one more time here. Our good buddy from D&K Sioux City, H.Q. Hardy, he said, with the world constantly changing in social injustice and athletes expressing their views to the media, et cetera, could there possibly be a fear of the owners not only to hire a head coach is minority, but also as well an African-American quarterback who's now the leader of your team, but not sure if he will express his views, which may be a PR problem, aka Kaepernick, or even disgruntled QBs pertaining to organizations. And then his last thing is he says here, fantasy world, would you take Ryan and a 4 to trade him to Jacksonville for Lawrence and a 2?
We take that. No question about it. see where Jacksonville would, but I'd hang the phone up real fast on that. But as far as the social consciousness, the owners are clearly not ready to hire black head coaches. They whiffed again here. They hired one and a Muslim brother in New York. So, out of the 7 hirings, you got 2. So a lot more people got interviewed but didn't get head coaching jobs. So that still speaks to the underlying institutional racism in the National Football League that showed its face during the Kaepernick proceeding. They didn't even know it. And then they come back 4 years later and say, oh, we were wrong. Now we got all these lovely signs on the field, but it takes all of us. And we get to hear the national black anthem at the games now. And, so, hey, they're trying to correct that wrong. With regards to the quarterbacks, I think we've seen that move over the last 5 to 10 years where, you have a Watson, you got Joshua Dobbs that's back up in Pittsburgh. You used to have no black backups. That's progress right there. And, Matt Schaub made $94 million as backup. So, that's real progress. And then you got, Lamar in Baltimore and so forth, Russell in Seattle. So we've seen some progress at the quarterback position, but as far as putting a black man in charge of the whole football team, they're still kind of jumpy about that because we're seeing them give jobs to white guys who can't even stand up and hold a press conference in Philly. The guy in the Rams defensive coordinator went to San Diego. They had like 10 better coaches than him. He only been in the league 2 years. Good guy. I heard people tell me what a great guy he was coming from Northeastern Ohio and so forth. And same school that produced Don Shula. Maybe he's the next Don Shula. I don't know. But seems like the brothers got a coach for 20 years, be coordinator, call the plays, make the Gatorade, and run the weight room. And then they can get an interview. And then get the job. So, the NFL is not ready for it. I know Troy Vincent and the Fritz Pollard Alliance, people are fighting to educate these owners to take down these walls of institutional racism. And so it's just going to be a longer process. I've been covering the league since '95, and they've been still talking about this. And that was when Sherman Lewis was up for the Dallas Cowboys job that went to Chan Gailey from Americus, Georgia. So, it's been deep grained and embedded, and you're not going to change that overnight.
Well, sure. Speaking of diversity, I know that. Well, let me ask you: how do you feel they had that iconic picture of the Tampa Bay coaching staff, and you had not one but 2 women on the winning staff?
Well, I love it. Girl power. I think it's great to see women coaching, and if they're qualified, then I think it's great. And these women are qualified, so it was just a great time in the world for women. And I think that you will start seeing more women actually getting to coaching men. And if they're really studying their craft, then I think if they're good enough, they should get hired.
Yeah, very interesting. So, past 2 Super Bowls, we've had that. I think she might have been the strength coach last year in San Francisco. She was the first woman to be on the staff. And then, of course, we looked at Tampa Bay. They had not 1 but 2. And, of course, in college football, we had the first woman to grace the field for a Power 5 conference in Vanderbilt. So, a lot. What do you call it? Girl power?
Girl power.
When we go back there, and don't forget, Minister Simmons, Georgia High School had girls flag this year, and the participation was incredible. It's going to be even bigger next year. And you say, well, these girls, will they play, football at the college level? Will they put the pads in? Maybe not, but they're going to prepare themselves for jobs. They're going to get to be officials. They can get to be coaches. They can be color commentators in the booth, not just sideline girls. And oh, by the way, how do you build that scoreboard over there? Why is that light over here? We're going to move this light over here. They're going to be in the business of making the scoreboard. They're going to make some money the guys aren't going to make, because the guys are going to be so busy trying to make it on the field. They're going to learn all the rules and the lingo and the way the game operates and the inner workings. Plus, they're going to say, why that pylon in that corner got to be orange? Why can't it be another? And work for the company that makes that pylon, and works for the company that makes that scoreboard with that video screen in it, and come out of it with jobs. And so, to me, that's something I think that we're planning. And we're behind. Florida's had it for years, and this is the first year for it here in Georgia.
Well, certainly a young lady's been on our show a couple of times. Miss Candace Mitchell, she was a big proponent of that. She played, I believe, on a professional women's flag football champion, and sure, she's been a champion for women's tackle football. A lot of people know that. They actually, Atlanta, that's one of the few winning teams we had. The Atlanta Phoenix, I think it was. They actually won a couple of women's professional championships here. So, kudos to her, and hopefully we'll have her come back on. I know she's excited. I saw her Twitter page light up when the women were handling their business. We know, guys, that we're getting towards the end of the broadcast here. Let me check my time. We got about maybe 10 to 9 minutes left, so we definitely want to go around the room and kind of get a sensibility of what some of you guys are doing. Clemente, we want to talk to you for just a second on what you're doing in the community, because I know we talked offline about some of the things you and your wife have been doing. So fill us in a little bit on that.
Me and my wife are getting our nonprofit organization off the ground called Gordon's Gifts. And we mainly focus on making sure elderly people are getting the food that they need with this COVID process going on. We start off going to a lot of food banks and picking up items in our with our own personal car, loading it down, and just going around dropping off meals and dropping off bags. Mainly people in our community, and to start off with the people in our community and our family members. And we're trying to branch out to a more broader spectrum. But that's mainly what we're starting to do. We're trying to get these food things going and hopefully get a building or somewhere we can start storing some items and just have people come and pick food up.
And how important is that? Because, we keep hearing in the media, and the story will pop up and then go away, this idea about there is still a problem, even in the United States, of hunger and this aspect of not having food available, what they call food deserts, places where people can't get good quality food.
I mean, it's amazing. I mean, it's amazing to me that goes on with all of the other things that the government focus on, things that they think are important. It's amazing to me that they just don't think it's important to make sure that every person in America, every child, every mother, everyone gets a hot meal. I mean, it's amazing to me. That's why I look at people like Hosea Williams, his foundation, man, and they still rolling. I mean, that's great to me. I mean, that's great. And that's what me and my wife want to kind of piggyback on that and just try to make sure, especially these kids, man, a lot of these kids get good hot meals, because a lot of kids don't even get a meal every day. And we just want to make sure that, try to make sure everyone gets fed around here.
Well, definitely, man. We want to do whatever we can to support you, especially in terms of promoting what you do. And I'm sure that Sam would say the same thing. It's, we can help do what we do here in the media by getting those good stories out. Well, how can people follow you on social media? We always like to kind of, as we get to the wrap up, we do a little something where the person gets to come on and tell people about their social media, their websites, phone numbers, email. And when we do that, we simply say, the floor is yours.
Okay, my email is GordonClemente354@gmail.com. I'm not a Facebook guy. I'm not really into Instagram. Just email me, and that's how you can get in contact with me.
We got to get you a social media coordinator there, Clemente. Once you get rolling, that's big. We got to get you out there.
My wife been trying to get my wife been trying to get me, and she's very close. So next time I come on, if you have me back, then I have all of that information. I just want to piggyback on what Miss Tree was saying about the girl power. A couple of years ago, I don't know if Sam knows, a couple of years ago, Coach Eddie Robinson's great granddaughter kicked field goals for Mays High.
That's right.
She's the field goal kicker at Mays High.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So, the girl power has been, it has started cranking up,
good.
A couple of years ago, and it's coming in. It's really getting big now. But she was a field goal kicker at Mays High.
Yeah.
Well, Clemente, I can assure you, man, we'll have you back on the show again, man.
Good.
Okay. It was my pleasure, and I want to appreciate y'all. It was a pleasure seeing all of you, and a pleasure seeing Sam again. And we need to talk, brother. Hit me up.
All right, let's do it.
All right.
Always,
that was my little surprise, Clemente. I called Sam and told him you were coming on, and he said, "Yeah, I can make some time in my schedule for that." So I said, I'm not gonna tell you. I said, I just surprised you, man. So I'm glad that you guys were able to get together. And like I say again, we look forward to having you back on with us again real soon, man. Be blessed.
Okay, you all too.
So, man, Clemente Gordon in the building, doing some great things, and we appreciate him and his wife for all the stuff that they do. And again, we do look forward to having them back on the air real soon. All right, well, we got to go to the legend. Mr. Sam Crenshaw, the floor is yours.
Gosh, that was cool. I enjoyed that with Clemente Gordon, and like I said, once again, thankful for all this mentorship that his dad gave to me, and we want to follow up with his organization, what he's doing, because it is very important, especially for our young people to have meals. No kid's going to do well in class with their stomach growling, whether they're in a classroom or if they're doing it online. So yes. Let's lend our support to him. I'm just doing what we do in this time of pandemic, doing things with CW69 News at 10, which is new. I'm thankful they had a chance for me to be a part of that. It's an odd, different newscast, and the news and weather people in Dallas, Texas, not even here in Atlanta, but we're being a newscast for Atlanta. Tell me how you do that. It's the age of technology. You can do those type things. So I'm thankful to be a part of those things. Also doing stuff with ATL 26 down at City Hall and Mayor Keisha Lance Bottoms. She's concerned about this All-Star game and don't want people coming to town to get them lemon pepper wings delayed. So I don't know. The NBA All-Star game, I think they still got some people left out there on Peachtree Road that's still stuck from 2003 delayed. The people never found their way home.
That was just crazy, man. I mean, I was there for that. I was actually.
What happened is that you got stuck in the
crazy. That was a crazy weekend, man. No, I was actually working for an Infinity dealer, and I was chauffeuring around some of the Fox Sports production people. And it was definitely a sight to see. But listen, man, you got to tell people how they can find out more about you, social media, website, all other kind of stuff. Once again, the floor is yours, Sam Crenshaw.
Okay, let me wrap up because that stuff happened to you. I'm at Sam Crenshaw 23, on the Twitter, as they say. Samuel Crenshaw on Facebook. I am on Facebook. That's where the Grown and Sexy. Grown and Sexy is on Facebook. And also I'm on Instagram with S.R. Crenshaw. You can follow me there as well. Watch for a podcast I'm working on, Talking Tennis Southern Style. It's coming up next week. I interviewed Alan Green. Alan Green is the tennis coach at Xavier in New Orleans. They are the men's team is number 2 ranked in the country, NAIA. The women number 3 in the country, NAIA. This is a tennis team at an HBCU, and his women's team has several young ladies from Atlanta. He has a pipeline to Atlanta. A lot of people don't know there's an HBCU that NAIA ranked in the top 5 tennis teams in the country. So that tennis podcast is Talking Tennis Southern Styles. Y'all take care.
And for those of you who don't know, Sam is a big tennis aficionado, always covers the tournament here that they hold right in Atlantic Station. He's always on the scene. So, Sam, we appreciate you, man. And don't be no stranger now. We appreciate you. Sam Crenshaw. And now we are down to just 3. And, of course, guys, we got to go to the man who covers the Falcons the best, Mr. D. Orlando Ledbetter. The floor is yours.
Well, thank you, Reverend. Thanks for having me. As always, you can find my work on ajc.com. We push it out on Twitter at @TheOrlandoAJC. We have the 250th episode of the Bowtie Chronicles podcast. You can get that on iPad and iTunes. I'm sorry, Stretcher and all those platforms. The 250th episode of the Bowtie Chronicles podcast dropping tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. Thank you.
Well, there you go, guys. Remember, D. Orlando Ledbetter, you can see scrolling underneath. Go to ajc.com, go to the sports section, and you will find his cover 9 on 9 and all the great stuff that he does with them. And remember, follow him at D. Orlando AJC. If you want to hook up with him, I'll put it up there for you. Bam! There it is. Hit him right there on Twitter, and you'll find him there. D-Led, man, we appreciate you as always. Till next time, sir, God bless you. Have a great night. And then there were 2. Praise the Lord. Well, Tree, it looks like it's just me and you now with just a few minutes left to go on the broadcast. Another great show. We had some great guests tonight, huh?
Oh, yes. Phenomenal. It was a great show. I loved everybody that came on. Really phenomenal.
Yeah, it was good stuff. So now, you're no stranger. Now the floor is yours.
All right. Well, you can find me at It's LaTresa. That's ITSLATRESA. And that's on Instagram. And that's where you can find all my other stuff. Stay tuned because in a couple of months, I have some big things coming up.
All right. Well, we got some hopefully big things coming up here on this show. We'll continue to bring you the type of guests that you like and you enjoy. So appreciate each and every one of you that tune into this broadcast here with us. Remember, you can follow Me personally on social media at Minister J Sim. That's how you can find right there. It pops up right there on the screen. You also can follow the show itself at Real Talk Sports 7. Please, ma'am, please, sir, go to our YouTube page. Please follow us. Not follow us on YouTube. Go ahead and follow us on YouTube. Subscribe to us on YouTube. That's what I'm looking for. Subscribe to us and hit the bell, which will give you the alert to let you know and notifications when we are on the air. Well, you know, guys, you can see there, it says Minister Jonathan Simmons. So I'm a real minister. So before I get off the broadcast, I always like to give you this great appeal and ask you, hey, do you know the Lord Jesus Christ, your personal Savior? You say no. Well, hey, here's why you should. Nobody loves you like Jesus. Not your mom, not your auntie, not your grandmom and them, not your bestie, not your bae, not your BFF. None of those folks love you like him. Why? Because he made you and he died for you. That's right. He died so that all your sins can be forgiven. Now you say, well, this seems pretty cool. Well, you need to take advantage of it, because what that does for you is two things. Number one, it gives you a direct connection to God. You now are a citizen of the kingdom of heaven, and you are an official adoptive child of God, which means you can go to God yourself and pray. But the only way you can do that is do the following things. One, you got to confess your sins. Say, God, I'm sorry. Didn't mean to do it. Number two, you got to believe that Jesus came, walked here upon the earth as a man and a God, and died for your sins and was risen from the dead. And if you believe that, confess it to somebody, bam, you become a citizen of the kingdom, an adopted child of God. You get to go to a happy place when you die called heaven, not that bad place called hell. I don't know about you. I like option number one, not option number two. All right, guys, listen, we appreciate those of you who have watched the broadcast here. Also, big shout out to those of you watching on the replay on Periscope and also on demand on YouTube. Big shout out to those of you who watch us here on Facebook Live. We want to give thanks to everybody who came on the show, Doleman, Ledbetter, Clemente Gordon, all the guys from Jonesboro High School. Big shout out to the Cardinals. I also want to give a shout out to who's our other guest here? Am I drawing? Oh, Sam Crenshaw. Well, appreciate Sam and appreciate each and every one of you. All right, guys, until next time when you join us again, God bless you and good night.
Bye.
Bye-bye.